I thought I made that one. I tested these earlier.
I was curious to see if it was going to work or not.
You know, I did do a test earlier. I guess I didn't do that one. I don't know. I'll have to look into that. That's confusing. I love it when I test things out and they work and then we're live. Anyways, we're live. Reliance isn't dead says no audio, but I see audio. Might have been because it was the intro. But
so it's working now.
Yeah, because the intro, we don't come in during the intro. It's been that way since episode 10. But anyways, oh my gosh, another subscription. Look at that.
My gosh, 13 months. That's like...
Wow.
That's like more than 12.
That's almost as much as 15.
This guy's dedicated.
He
Y'all
sure
could
is.
learn a thing or two from this fella. Thank you,
Hey.
Leviathan Den, as always. We appreciate it.
Pay attention to this fellow right here.
He's got it all together.
Right.
Ian, how you been?
Oh, I've been alright. I've just been working all the live long day. How about you?
I've been great. And, you know, I've been working the normal amount.
That's good. I mean,
So,
I think the normal amount is still too much, but it's, you know, that's good though. Like,
I've had a, you know, I'm not saying it's a permanent thing, but since COVID, I've been working not as much as I used to. I mean, my own, like, commission work and stuff like that, I still grind away at that, you know, wherever I can. But as far as the day job,
yeah,
I don't go as much, and pretty nice.
That's a good
I'm
thing.
not upset about it.
yeah. Because it never sounded like a. I mean, it sounds like after some recent changes to staff there and like management, it's a little better, but it's still probably not, you know, ideal.
Yeah, it's, you know, regardless, it's not all horrible, but you know, when you're working doing a thing you're not really passionate about, it's just like a soul suck a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially because like
Sorry, I
customers
was
are.
just trying to
Oh, that's okay. I appreciate it.
make it look like the font.
Oh yeah, you know what? I'll let you. Do you think that looks closer? Do you think it needs to be a little bit wider at the top, or? It looks like you're going pretty wide with that W.
I'm gonna redo this M. You know what? I'm throwing you off your game. I'm gonna take over the font for once. So,
Okay. I'll start drawing little DrawBombs around it.
Stuck on that.
Meanwhile, Leviathan Den in the chat. Hold on, let me just real quick mess with some windows to make sure that what needs to be on top is on top. Because otherwise shit goes crazy. But a Leviathan Den says, thank you so much for B-Chaps for the beautiful work of art. It is currently being made into a 14 by 14 canvas for my VR room and should be complete by tomorrow.
That's awesome. I would love to see it when it's done.
Me too. Love to take a look-see.
Like a little look-see at that. Yeah, so, yeah. Thanks for commissioning me. It was a fun project. Boy, the creative freedom this guy gives you. 1 in a million.
He just tells you to do whatever.
Yeah, I do like that.
But
These jobs are rare, I would say.
they're rare. I actually do prefer to have some structure in my commissions, like a certain amount. Like I did a commission recently where it was frustrating, but I got it done. But they asked me to come up with some designs for like some art for them, so I did, and then we had like a meeting about like, you know, is this what you guys want? And then they were like, I love it, but what if we did this? And then they had their own idea for a picture anyways, and it was just like,
Yeah.
Why
They
did
had
I-
those ideas from the beginning, no doubt.
yeah, and then I was like, why did you waste my fucking time?
Right.
But,
if you're being disingenuous about doing whatever you want, then you can just knock that off. No one's interested.
I think what they were going for was like, we have an idea in mind, but Ian's the artist, so I would love it I would love to see what he came up with, and then like when I came up with my idea, it was a waste of time because they didn't like my idea as much as their idea, so then I just made their idea, and I was like, okay. I would have rather have skipped that first
You're doing
step.
the artist a favor with that, but you can just not do that.
If you have an
something in
idea.
mind. If you genuinely just want them to go, you know, on their own, then actually, you know, mean that.
Yeah, exactly. But that's
Anyways,
not the first time that's
sorry,
happened to
go
me. Well, I was just gonna say it's not the first time that's happened to me. There are plenty of times where I've gotten freelance work and the person's like, I want you to, you know, have fun with it, do your thing. And then I give them the thing, and then they're just like, well, actually, okay, so here's what I want. It's like,
I don't want you to have fun, anyways. Leviathan Den says, I did have some prerequisites. He had to be purple, and it had to be something that represents DrawBomb. And I think I accomplished that. He's
Nice.
definitely purple.
I hope so.
I think I showed you, Ian, didn't I?
Oh yeah. You showed me that earlier today, so that's what you.
The
That's what.
one-shot
Yeah, that's what you made for him. Nice.
Yeah.
It looks great.
But I had fun with it. Thanks. And yeah. Oh, he also says that wasn't my commission, was it, Top Cat?
No, because
talking shit about you.
I'm talking shit about you right in front of you, describing a scenario that you put me through that you never put me through, because what I just described sounds nothing like our experience. So no, I'm not talking about you. But it was just frustrating. But I got the drawing done. It was done this weekend. I'm working on another picture with somebody, and that time they just told me what they wanted right out the gate, and then so I sent them a quick sketch, and then I said, they were like, can I move some elements around? And I was like, great. I didn't waste my time.
Love that.
Yeah, I love that. So that's I mean, whatever. I'm just happy to get work, so I'm complaining a whole bunch. I sound like a very ungrateful. I am, but you know, whatever. Anyways,
you gotta bitch about work. That's part of work. Right?
It's what keeps us alive, is bitching about.
Yeah.
If we all didn't bitch about work, we would do nothing all day. Which is what I do. I do nothing all day. But anyways, what have you been up to? Speaking of what we do all day, what have you been doing all day these past week?
Well, I have been working. I've had, you know, as we've often said, when it rains, it pours. So, like, I've had a lot of work right now, which is nice. So, that and my day job as well. But then I would say my free time, I have been playing a lot of VR. I just finally got that might have been what you were...
I actually wasn't trying to set anything up. I was just asking, because we always do that. We always talk about what we do during the week, and I forget. True. My mind is like head empty. I forget everything we've done until we have this conversation, because then I can be surprised. Like, you got VR?
So I've legit been playing a lot of that. It's been very fun. I got the Quest because it's the cheapest, and I also just don't really have the space to justify getting like a really nice rig. And also, you know, I'm paying for a wedding this year, so buying a $1,000 VR set would probably not go over super well with the soon.
It's not the most frugal.
Yeah, so, you know, I got the Index. I'm actually, or not the Index, I didn't get it.
You got that's specifically what you didn't get.
The Quest 2, and it's pretty great for what it is, you know, for the price and the fact that it's standalone and mostly wireless. It's pretty cool. It's nice. I recommend it if you're looking for some kind of like intro. You know, if you're looking for something that's functional but also not the most expensive thing there is.
Looking to finally get your find out what all the hubbub is about.
Yeah, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. It's pretty great. So
I have been watching you play some Resident Evil 4 VR in it, and I gotta say, it's a lot of fun watching you do that. I've said that to you before when you've been doing it, but I'm saying that for the audience now. But it is a lot of fun to watch him play Resident Evil 4 VR. Not that he's streaming it, you can't watch it. Like, this is an exclusive show for me and friends.
I could stream it on like DrawBomb
you could.
After hours or something.
Yeah.
I will say, the other night, I tried to show you guys some Half-Life Alyx, and granted, it was very late, so I was very stumped on a puzzle, and I couldn't solve it, and also the pressure of you guys watching, and literally today I turned the game on and solved it in like half a second. So
I figured that would be the case, and you know, you were talking about how you were nervous because we were watching you solve a puzzle. It was like, yeah. We're not judging. I'm not judging. I'm not going like, I can solve this fucking puzzle so much better than you.
I felt very judged.
I mean, as a guy who loves puzzles, I probably could have solved that puzzle much better than you, but I wouldn't say that.
You just said it. Not only did you just say it to me, you said it in front of an audience.
Oh no, I'm doing the opposite of what I want to do. No, but it was a lot of fun to watch you. I mean, that puzzle looked kind of complicated and a little janky anyways, but it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun watching you play VR. And I'm excited to see what you do. I've been telling you, but you should really, and it's not like you said no, but you should really stream yourself playing Skyrim in VR, because I think people would get a kick out of it. I should. I haven't gotten that yet, but yeah, I will at some point. Because it's another purchase you have to make then, and you've already spent some money, so it's no rush.
It's true.
I'm just gonna real quick check the chat.
Yeah.
Let's see. Xenude says, excuse me, you're artist. You should enjoy making something. Stop being so ungrateful. JK.
He's totally right.
He's totally right. I'm just a fucking complainer.
Yeah.
And then Extra Attack RPG says, my draw boys. So welcome to the chat, Extra Attack. Thanks so much for joining us today.
All our friends are here.
All our friends are here.
What have you been up to this past week?
Oh shit, what have I been up to? A lot of drawing.
Yeah, you've been working
which is
your
cool.
little tail off.
Been working my tailbone off. I played a couple of games, which I could go on like anytime I.
Some stuff you haven't played before, or at least I haven't seen. You know, I just spy on your activity on the computer. And,
Discord makes it easy.
You're playing some different stuff that I haven't seen you play before.
Yeah, so I'll go over. I don't want to rant for too long because whenever I play like 10 minutes of something, I have a million thoughts about it. Because I don't know. I guess I like art criticism. Yeah, I like arts criticism.
You should write reviews on Steam. That it shows how long you played the game, which will really help sell your arguments. It's like played 10 minutes. This game is shit.
This game fucking sucks. Fuck this. So I played the two games that I played. The first one was going off Game Pass like 2 days when I started playing it. So I was just like, well, I've been meaning to try it out. I'd actually been meaning to stream it because it seemed like it might be fun to stream, and I'm kind of glad I didn't because I didn't end up playing it for very long. And not because time ran out. No, I didn't like it that much. It seemed like something that maybe I would enjoy more as I went further into it, but also I feel like all the things I didn't like about it would not be resolved. I felt like those would just continue.
The game doesn't hook you right away. It's hard to convince yourself to keep digging in. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
It should be fun, right? That's like the whole point.
Yeah. But it's also interesting, like the new Halo Infinite, like that game is fun. I have no problems with it, but I also don't feel myself compelled at all to jump back into the single player.
Yeah, I barely touched it. I've been playing a lot of the multiplayer.
Yeah, which is kind of like what Halo is. I think people will just always get Halo for the multiplayer. No one's ever really trying to play the single player. But the single player in that game is good, and it's open world, which I'm a big fan of open world games. So you'd think it'd be right up my alley, but I don't know.
Maybe we'll give it a go in the co-op releases.
That's my thinking. Is I'm actually kind of taking this as a blessing that I'm so not disinterested, but just not champing at the bit to play it, because
it'll be fresh when that time rolls around.
We can play it together. But the one game that I played that was going off Game Pass that I didn't enjoy too much, it was called. So I thought it was called Yeek or Yike.
I don't know how to pronounce that.
I had no idea how to pronounce it. So it turns out there's a little bird character that tells you how to pronounce it in the very beginning of the game. It's pronounced Y2K, a postmodern RPG. And my thoughts about the 2 hours of the game I would say I played was that it... so it was clear that the people who made it were heavily inspired by Earthbound, because the game is basically Earthbound with new graphics, and different characters I like a whole lot less. So it's basically like you start the game off and like you're basically at the screen in Earthbound where Extra Tech says, "Oh my God, Yike is yeah." You can go ahead and read that comment.
It says, "Oh my God, Yike is awful." Apparently.
Yeah, it didn't review well. I don't think it's awful. I just don't think it's good. So yeah, like you start the game off, it asks you a bunch of questions about yourself, name your character, just say some random shit about your life. Like they ask you like, who's the coolest girl you know? Who's somebody who's smarter than you who won't ever act like it? So I answered all those questions, and I didn't play long enough for those to ever manifest into anything in the game. The game then starts, and again, this is all basically like a ripoff of Earthbound, but with 3D kind of retro style graphics. You go to your hometown. You're like the archetypal like ginger bearded glasses hipster dude. Does that make sense? Like the picture I'm trying to paint. Okay, so you look like the archetypal version of that, and the main character. I thought for the longest time like the game might have been made by like two people, and then the main character was the main developer of the game, and then when I looked into it, it wasn't. They hired a professional voice actor, which makes absolutely no sense because the microphone quality is awful. it sounds terrible. Like, the voice acting, it sounds fucking shitty. Really bad. Like, the microphone quality has this weird tinny resonance to it. And then, like, whenever you're, like, doing an internal monologue, which there are way too many of in the game, it adds, like, a reverb effect to it, which just makes the audio quality sound even worse because it already sounds bad. And then, like, the whole time, your character is just, like... I mean, I've only played for 2 hours. Maybe he gets better, maybe he doesn't, I don't know, but, like... He just kind of like seems like a normal dork, and then like you go to your house, you're visiting your parents after a year at college, and like the first thing you do is you get a note on the table from your mom and it says, "Hey, I'm busy, can you go to the store to grab some stuff?" And the first thing your character says is, "Ugh, I'm only home for 5 minutes, she's already barking orders at me." And it's like, number one, she wrote you a letter. Number two, she's clearly busy. Do your mom a favor, she put you through college, go get the groceries for her. But that's, I mean, I don't know where that leads.
She brought you into this goddamn world.
Yeah, your mom seems... Yeah, your mom seems nice enough from what I've seen. Go help the lady out, come on. I didn't play much further than that, but the only other... The main character seems like he's going to be very unlikable, and maybe that's the point, because it is supposed to be a quote-unquote postmodern RPG set in the year 2000. Who knows? I didn't play far enough to find out. The only other two things I have to really say about the game is I got to the part where it is postmodern, which is basically the game... like, the thing about Earthbound is that Earthbound was postmodern, but it was postmodern because they had, like... They had like Blues Brothers references in there, and like you would fight like a fucking deodorant bottle or something like that as an enemy, and like all that stuff was there for flavor and to sort of give like, because otherwise you're a kid walking around, you beat up some police officers in your hometown, and then you move on to the next town and you do a whole bunch of other crazy shit, and then you go on a Blues Brothers tour bus and you go to the underwater, you go to the Egypt. There's not a lot you would fight in that game unless you were fighting some crazy shit because, you know, they needed some enemies to fight. But that's kind of like the most the postmodernism goes in that game. If it gets like ever more abstract than that sort of stuff, it's because it's in the service of like some sort of thematic elements. But in Y2K, when I played it, the game got postmodern like right out the gate, and as far as I could tell, I had no idea why I was looking at the all-seeing eye on the pyramid, or like you know, like why I was walking in a void with floating angels saying weird cryptic shit at me. None of it seemed to really coalesce around any sort of reasoning. It all felt like it was just weird for the sake of some Evangelion existential, like, abstract stuff. For no reason, like just for the point of like, I like Evangelion, I'll have some weird existentialism in like a fucking void. I don't know.
Well, here's my way to summarize. Yick, more like ick.
Nice.
Take a pass on this stinker, because
more like yikes.
It's not worth your time. 0 out of 10.
0 out of 10. The only other thing I have to say about Yike, is that in the main menu, I went to an option that I thought said Preferences, and instead it was actually a screen labeled References, where they break down all of the pop culture that they reference in the game. And that's another problem I had with the game, without me even having played it.
Did they do it in MLA format?
No. Actually, they might have. I don't know. They just list... That would be amazing if they did that. But no, like... It's just like a screen. It's like, we referenced Final Fantasy, The Matrix, like a year that they all came out, and it's like, making references does not mean what you're making is good. Like,
yeah.
Why do you have a...
Tech RPG says, I've seen some of the screenshots, and it seems like the main character is an asshole, and some of the script lines are super cringy. Yeah, that sounds kind of like your review.
Accurate, yeah. No, totally. So yeah, I don't know. I like that actually really bothered me, was the references screen. That, like, I still played after that, obviously, but like when you have a screen where you're like telling people all the shit you referenced, yeah, it's like everyone knows references. Like, they're making a reference is not a substitute for quality or making a story. Like, having references should first of all be very, what's the word I'm looking for?
Well,
subtle.
Not subtle, but references are fun if you get them on your own, not if somebody's like, and you don't you say something and go, by the way, that was from Final Fantasy. Anyways. Yeah,
exactly. It shouldn't make a bump. Like, when you make a reference, it shouldn't like I shouldn't notice unless like I specifically can be like, oh hey, they're referencing that thing, but it should otherwise be very imperceptible from the story, you know? Like if you're like, there's a ton of things I've watched where I actually completely got the reference, but I might have missed it because what they did was like subtle enough to package it in a way that's clever and smart. And you know, it kind of reminds me of I'm a big fan of Edgar Wright and Shaun of the Dead and all that stuff, and I have DVDs of their original BBC TV series Spaced, which is where they ended up working together, and then they started working on Shaun of the Dead because of the zombie episode in that show. And on the DVD of that show, they have a special feature you can turn on called a reference-o-meter, which is every time they make a reference in the show, a little thing pops up, tells you what it's a reference to. And it turns out, every 5 seconds is a fucking reference in that show. Like, everything's a reference in that show. But, like, that both bugs me because of the same thing we're just discussing now with this, but also, they do it subtle enough where some of them are very obvious. Like, they're making a party, the main character goes, "If you make it, they will come." It's Field of Dreams. Everyone fucking knows that quote. If you don't know the movie, you know, "If you build it, they will come."
Thanks for spoiling that for me.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But all those references, like, for the most part, I don't know, you're referencing, like, French vaudeville. Like, that's crazy. But you did it in a way that it didn't cause me to be, like, stop and be like, was that a reference? But yeah.
Says, I clapped because it's Star Wars.
Yeah. That's great, because we just finished watching, like, we just finished the Best of the Worst playlist of Red Letter Media earlier today. So now we're working on the Nerd Crew or the Mr. Plinky reviews or whatever, but it's a line from their Star Wars review for Rogue One is they're like, I clapped because it's Star Wars, and that's kind of what references can boil down to a lot of the times is, hey,
yeah.
Do you like Newgrounds humor for the longest time, and like Family Guy humor for a while? It was very much like, hey, remember this thing? Huh? Maybe it was more fun when, like, back then everything was a little bit more like, it was fun to find out you watched something the same thing that somebody else did, but I don't know. It feels pointless and forced. Anyways.
I think references can be fun if they're subtle. Yeah, it should be like something like it's like a nod to people who get it. It shouldn't be like a, I don't know. Like,
yeah.
I don't know what it shouldn't be, but
there's a word I'm looking for, but I can't come up with it. Like, there's a very specific word that would solve our issue we're having here. I can't think of it. But to use a strained metaphor, if you're driving on a road, the references should be the paint on the road. It shouldn't be a speed bump. That's the best I can come up with. There's some chats in the comment. Let's see here. There's a lot of poorly handled chats in the comments. Main character's an asshole. Some of the script lines are super cringy. There's a lot of poorly handled sensitive subjects as well. Mental health, ableism, sexism, and some heavier stuff. Interesting. I didn't get that. I actually did get to one thing that I found out was a reference to a tragedy, although I didn't realize it until I googled the game and then I was like, oh, I didn't realize that what I had seen was a reference to, you know, that like college student who went disappearing, who she was like in an elevator, it was caught in footage, and she like disappeared, and then she was found in like the hotel's like water supply tank like a week later or something like that. Yeah. Like back in 2013 or something like that. Her name's Elisa Lam. But apparently there's a scene where like a character gets kidnapped from an elevator, and it's supposed to reference that, which seems tasteless from what I've seen in the scene. It's meant to be a horror moment, but it feels like don't reference a real person's like tragic death if you're going to have like a setup where like a character disappears. Because like, and also what happens immediately after was annoying and also confirmed I maybe didn't want to play the game. Because you watch the character get abducted from the elevator, and apparently that's the reference to the tragic death of Elisa Lam. And then your guys just like monologues for 5 minutes, going like, I felt like a rift had been opened in the world. My mind had finally seen a blah blah blah. Just goes like, I literally went to like the edge of the screen to change maps to go to like a new area, and the screen stayed black so we could finish monologuing some pointless bullshit like that was just not well written, and it was like wordy for the sake of. I didn't like the game, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Let's move on.
Yeah, it sounds fun.
I thought the art was cute. I think if the game was balanced, like the main reason I quit was because I got into a fight that was just unwinnable, and then like if I got game over, they would put me right back in the fight, and then if I wanted to leave the fight, I would have to load my file and watch that whole 5-minute monologue over again. And I said, you know what? Take it off Game Pass. I'm good.
That's a good reason to quit, I would say.
Yeah. So,
here's my review. Yick, more like yikes. Take a pass on this stinker.
Woo!
0 out of 10.
Nailed it. What do you, now that I've spoken for 50 minutes without giving you a chance to speak, what have you been up to aside from all that?
Boy, I mean, I went over kind of what I've been doing this past week.
Yeah,
playing...
I kind of just asked you the same question you answered like 10 minutes ago.
That's alright. What games have I been playing? I've been playing Half-Life Alyx, which is awesome. I mentioned that already. And Resident Evil. Yeah, we already talked about this. You're right.
Yeah. Do you want to go on a lengthy, in-depth review of something that nobody else will experience?
Yeah, so there's this game called Yick, okay?
Okay. Go on.
Znewt says Yick, more like shit. 2 eyes.
Clever.
That's a good one. I feel embarrassed that I didn't think of that first.
Technically, the way that's pronounced would be, because Yike is supposed to be Y2K, his would be pronounced Shy2T.
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 No, you know.
I mean, maybe you're thinking of Chai Tea.
That should have been your first warning.
Yeah. It was dumb, and I didn't like it. I'm sure maybe there would have been more redeeming elements of it later on. I don't know. Maybe if I like ever have it for free, I'll try and do a more in-depth playthrough of it, but it's not likely. The thing is, like,
there's so many games out there. Play something that that you know is fun. Don't force yourself to consume stuff that you don't like.
This is true. The only thing I kind of wanted to try it some more is because, like, one thing I like about video games is, like, and one thing that was cool about the opening area of the game is it's like this neighborhood, it looks all retro graphics, it's kind of fun to explore it, and I'm sure that if that game, like, threw me into more areas that maybe weren't giant black voids of nothingness, maybe I would enjoy exploring those areas in the game, but, you know, I'm not going to rush into it, or do it, probably. Yeah. Seen any movies lately?
No.
Oh, okay.
If not.
Okay.
Yeah, we've been watching a lot of It's Always Sunny. We've been binging through all that.
Oh yeah. Like from the beginning or like the new season?
Yeah, started at the beginning.
Nice. I'm sure Morgan has seen it before, but is she like all the way caught up? Is that why you guys are?
No, she's seen a lot of episodes, but not nearly all of them. So there's
Gotcha.
I'd say the majority she hasn't seen. So
she's not a normal person like me who has watched it front to back like 8 times, right?
Correct.
Okay.
So that's why we're doing it. But it's been fun to watch through it again, and I've been wanting to watch the new season, but I figured this would be a good way to just kind of watch through it one more time.
Good stuff. I could watch that show in perpetuity. Like, I enjoy that show. A lot of people say, like, it makes me cringe. I can only handle a few episodes at once. For me, I do not get that.
Cringe comedy.
I like cringe comedy, and that show does not make me cringe at all. Like, I actually...
It makes me cringe in, like, the sense that, like, everything they do is horrible, but it's almost cartoonish.
It's so cartoonish, I never feel that sense of cringe. Like,
I feel that with some shows. I don't feel it with that show as much. You're right.
There's even an episode where they're trying to convince a guy to kill himself, and like that's played for laughs, but like they do it well enough where I didn't ever feel cringy about it, and like it was like the guy is intentionally depressing, so that episode does like the guy does say a bunch of shit that's really depressing, but like it never like then like they go about like trying to get him to kill himself for like to get his insurance money, and like at no point did I ever feel like, oh boy, this crazy scheme. I was just like, let's see where it goes.
I had that moment a little bit. We were watching the episode where Dee lies about having a kid.
Oh yeah.
Try to cheat on her taxes, and then at the end of the episode, Dennis convinced them to throw a baby funeral.
Dead baby funeral. Yeah.
And they're like at the funeral, and And there's a moment where I think it's Frank looks over and he's like, "This is dark even for us."
Yeah. That shit's good.
Yeah, but, yeah. Funny. Good
who
show.
else? Yeah, it's a great show. Who else do we add to this picture? Like, I've drawn like 5 different types of. Well, we've drawn like 5 different types of bombs. Do we draw the bill?
That's up to you. We can move on, or we could. I'm gonna.
I feel like this needs like 2 more people in it.
It needs more.
Yeah.
It's not 2 more.
It's not a 2 more. Real quick, I'm gonna, while I think about what I'm gonna add to this drawing, I'm gonna real quick just go through the chat real quick. I've said real quick 3 times in a row now.
If you just join us, we're rambling as always. We're drawing a Schoolhouse Rock kind of themed intro picture. Z-Newt says it needs Willem Dafoe. I'm not against that.
I'm not against that at all. Also, Leviathan Dead says, "Oh snap! Oh ho snap! Z-Newt's coming in with the bummer drummer over here." And then Lucky 7 Rabbit. Do you know what a Lucky 7 Rabbit is? I don't know what that is. A Lucky 7.
Is that from the show or I don't know.
From Schoolhouse Rock? We're making a reference to a show that I don't know if I've ever seen a full episode of.
Yeah, I've seen some of the different songs. I don't know if I've actually watched an episode of it.
Yeah, there's like that sort of cultural osmosis thing where like about I'm just a bell or conjunction junction. But you couldn't ask me for any other songs from the show. I'd be like, there's one about math, I'm sure.
There's one about adverbs.
Oh, is there?
There is.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Banger. No, I don't remember any of the songs really.
I remember 2 songs about like educational songs from my childhood. One of them is from, I don't know what it's from. I think it's from just a school video, and then the other ones were from like Bill Nye, where they got like Bowling for Soup to sing a song about water or something like that. But then the other one
Bill
was
Nye
like,
always had weird, cringy music videos at the end of each episode.
He did, and I kind of loved him. Like I not as a kid, but I love him now.
Maybe I would appreciate them more now.
Because the thing is, like, when you're a kid and you're watching those cringe music videos, you almost feel ashamed for the TV show. You're just like, oh, Mom, geez, don't watch now. They're doing a cringy music video.
Yeah, but I guess if you think about, like, when they made it, kind of funny. But...
Yeah. Kids like music, what the fuck, why not? The other one I remember from my childhood was action words are verbs. Just telling you what a verb is.
Is that from this?
No, I don't think so. I think it was just from like a random fucking video we had to watch in school about fucking verbs. A whole song.
In school, so we watched a lot of VeggieTales. That was their educational entertainment.
And I'm sure you learned so much.
Problematic stuff because they were still on the. A lot of churches have given up on the creationism now stuff, taking it so literal.
True.
But they were still very much in that mode when I went back in the 90s. So
Yeah.
Bill Nye being like, dinosaurs, blah blah blah. They'd be like, no, you can't show the kids this. They'll actually learn.
Yeah. That's the thing is, like, in VeggieTales, I don't think you ever actually learn anything except for, like, David did and Goliath.
And, like, be nice to each other.
All the education you need is the Bible!
Exactly, and that's why it turned out so good.
Yep. Anyways, so how's that felony conviction going?
Technically, I've missed a few court dates, but, you know what? I'll probably just slip through the cracks. I mean, how concerned? I'm just some guy. Don't worry about me.
You'll be fine.
Don't forget about it.
It was only like 3 buses full of nuns.
Right. And, you know.
The Grand Canyon was there.
I claim that it was self-defense.
Yeah, you had to. You had to knock those nuns off that cliff.
Did what I had to do.
Oh, they were threatening
right for me.
Yeah.
You should have seen the look in their eye. You would have done the same thing.
Yeah. I would. I didn't have to see their looking like specifically that you got. I would just do it. Let's see. Leviathan Den
really
says.
Try to be on the jury for me. I could use the help.
Yeah, right. Like I'll be on your court. That's the Schoolhouse Rock. Lucky 7 Samson.
So yeah, so they are referencing this. We decided to draw a thing we know nothing about.
I guess so. Good for us. What are you drawing? What is that?
I was trying to do Willem Dafoe in that style, and it doesn't look right. Okay?
Oh boy. Okay.
Look, I've drawn Willem Dafoe many times, yeah, accurately. So I'm allowed to miss once in a while.
I'm gonna draw a dog, but it's got a DrawBomb head, and I don't know how this is gonna turn out.
You once did a moose with a DrawBomb head, and it was disgusting. So
That's true.
I have a guess.
Leviathan Den says, Conjunction Junction, what's your function? Or the famous Family Guy episode reworked to Vagina Junction, what's your function? Taking in sperm, spitting out babies.
Yeah, I remember that.
I remember that. I think that's why a lot of people... I remember that. I feel like the main reason I know Schoolhouse Rock is that Family Guy joke, and also I Love the 80s from VH1.
I mean, it was still relevant in the 90s. At least I still saw a lot of it.
Like, oh, really? I don't think I ever saw, like, any...
School and stuff.
How
Because,
quickly...
you know, grammar isn't a slight against God, so they can show you all those.
True.
Alright, this Willem Dafoe needs to be erased.
Why don't you just turn it into something else?
I'll turn it into a blank spot where he once was.
Okay. That works. Those fucking...
says those... Oh yeah, go ahead.
Oh, those fucking nuns were getting uppity, dog, says Znoots in the chat. And yeah, that's what I was saying, man. Like, they had the rulers out and everything. They were brandishing weapons.
Yeah, I'm like, capital punishment isn't a thing anymore. They didn't listen.
Did not. Oh well, that's their fault. They're at the bottom of the Grand Canyon now.
They're in a better place. At least that's what they always say.
Yeah, they're at the place they've always wanted to go to. This is a great drawing. I think this looks great right here. Fan-freaking-tastic.
Finish my reattempt at Willem Dafoe.
Okay. I'll see if I can add...
Done here.
Alright. I'll see if I can add anything else to this wonderful masterpiece in the meantime. The dog is not as horrifying as the moose.
Oh yeah, it's actually kind of cute. You did it.
A genius. You know, we watched Battlefield Earth recently. I do remember that we did that.
Yeah, what do you have to say about it?
It's hilarious.
It was like not good.
It was not good. It was confusing.
I think everyone knows that about it, but it wasn't even really good as a bad movie.
I thought so. I thought it was fun as like a bad movie. I mean, it was pretty. Okay. It was pretty long in time. It was long in the tooth. I will say that it is like 2.5 hours long. But the moments in it that are funny are pretty funny in my opinion. And it's just full of so many baffling choices that like were clearly like somebody made that decision with intent, but it was the wrong choice to make. And I think that adds a lot of flavor to it.
Yeah. That's a fair assessment. John Travolta. How many awards did he win for that movie?
Oh boy. He won some Razzies.
Oh, I didn't know they had them back then yet. Well, he earned them.
He sure did. Because that movie was fucking awful. I think my favorite part about that movie that still like cracks me up is the fact that so the aliens that John Travolta and Forrest Whitaker are, they come to Earth and they enslave the human race. And a battlefield Earth. Earth is the battlefield. And so they like take over the human race, and John Travolta talks like this. He talks like Amadeus from the movie Amadeus.
He makes some artistic choices which are very strange.
He's got like a very fey sort of almost British accent. He's going like, ah yes, that's so lovely being a space alien from space with my horrible teeth and big nails. but then every time it shows them communicating with each other, but you don't need to know what John Travolta is saying, all of a sudden they're going.
They sound like somebody moving furniture, or like a Creed cover band or something.
That is a great description of the sound they make. And then it turns out the humans, they'll be speaking in English to each other, and then to the cyclors, is that what they're called? The cyclos.
Cyclos. It's supposed to sound like psycho, but alien.
Yeah, which is dumb. But then the humans will talk to each other, and they'll be speaking in English, and then the main character and John Travolta will talk to each other, or sometimes John Travolta will just talk to the main character, and then they'll speak in English. But then all the time in the background, the humans are constantly going ooh ha ha, ooh ha. And then you realize, I realized halfway through the movie, because I don't think they ever properly set up this plot point, or maybe I just wasn't paying enough attention, but that's just what they're actually saying to each other. They have the English. They've regressed to monkey speak, and all the time we're hearing them speaking English is the film's interpretation, or translating for us, so that we can actually understand what they're saying. Which is just that's a fine choice, I guess. It's definitely a choice, an artistic choice, to go that route. But I feel like I should have known by the end of the movie that was what was happening.
Yeah, it would have been good information to have.
Yeah, maybe I wasn't paying enough attention. It's bad movie night, so sometimes we're just shooting the shit while the movie's going on. But that did not come across to me until I kind of just put it together by myself at some point. There was a specific scene where it seemed oh, that's what they're doing. Jesus. Dumb movie. Bad movie.
That was a hard one to pay attention to.
Yeah. But it had its moments of funny, when John Travolta shoots off Forrest Whitaker's hand. That shit cracked me up. There's a lot of funniness in that movie, but it is a 2.5 hour long package, and it's not all hilarious. A lot of it is just weird world, but none of it is ever good. I will say that. The thing about Battlefield Earth is at no point was I ever oh, they did this right. Which is astounding.
Yeah, it wasn't great. I've said this before, but we tend to do this thing where we like bad movies. Let's watch this movie that's famous for being bad, and then we watch it and we're that was really bad.
Yeah.
It's yeah, that's what it's known for.
Every time we do a bad movie night, we just end up shell-shocked at the end of it. We don't, we do that every time, but we just forget when we start it again.
Every once in a while, we, find the perfect movie that scratches the itch we're looking for, but a lot of them are just a slog.
You gotta look for a lot of
your favorite bad movies in the chat.
Yeah, let us know.
For more.
What's your favorite bad movie? Let us know. What are some of the good bad movies that we've watched? There we go, I found the proper layer. I like music though. I love my Spotify Discover Weekly playlist. Do you have access to premium Spotify, or are you still kind of doing that you just randomly pick songs for you?
Oh no, I've been on premium for years.
Nice, me too. It feels weird not being on premium,
That's
knowing that. Yeah, it's 100. Well, the nice thing is that Austin got me in on his family plan, so I haven't had. I should throw him money once in a while because it's very nice of him to Austin just hooks me up with so much stuff, and I have no way to repay him ever.
It's a good friend right there.
He's a great friend. So I'm on his Spotify Premium family plan. So I've had Spotify Premium for at least 4 years now, I would say. But
Leviathan Den redeemed "Do a Little Dance."
Oh boy. Okay. I forgot we ever made that one.
There.
I guess I did.
This is your fault.
Tell you what, you do the dance first. And then you save the picture. I'll finish the picture up, and then while I'm doing my dance, I will.
Kings.
Oops, sorry. Matty F in the chat says, "Hi, Kings."
I'm dancing. Oh, I just got done dancing.
It was so quick. You just missed it. This is what I was trying to. I guess I don't have my stream link buttons properly. Oh, Jesus Christ! I pressed a million buttons.
Hi, Matty F.
I pressed a million buttons just now, so everything just
Oh
went
my
all
God.
topsy-turvy. I don't have any sound on the close-ups yet. I still got a lot of tinkering to do with that stuff, I guess.
Threw out a boo you stink while I was... We have to fix our sound alerts.
Yeah, we do.
We're, you know, there's some that's part of the show, right? Like, nothing works. And
The
we're always
technical
complaining about it
difficulties.
all
Yeah.
episode long.
Let's see what happens if I go to my close-up. Well, that's because I clicked it. I clicked to, like, if I press your button on my stream link, or like my stream deck, it goes to the
I just
prepping
don't
show.
have any way to know it's coming. Alright. Well, that's a drawing.
That's a drawing right there. I'll go do my dance real quick.
Alright, you go do that dance. That's something. What do you call that?
I called that a little dance.
Oh, it's just the little dance?
Yeah, it's just a little tiny dance.
Hey, that sound alert worked.
Please, no! 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 No!
I'm glad you think about my dance.
Dr. Soundcheck says, wait, you guys are doing the art thing. We sure are doing the art thing, see?
Yeah, sir.
And I just messaged Ian.
On Discord, probably.
It's alright, you can send behind the scenes messages. You have a direct line.
I just messaged you back. It's important information going on here. Nuclear codes, all that stuff. Knowledge is poor.
You have
Just nice.
You have the nuclear football.
I do. We call it we actually call it the explosive egg. It's just our fun word for it.
That's fun. At least, you know, you take something serious, make it a little more fun. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's stuffy when we're all, you know.
Yeah. When we were just like so business
Have a good
all the
time.
time.
Just have a good time.
Just trying to have fun.
Exactly.
All right. Before we do this Willem Dafoe drawing, let's just real quick. Let's read the chat and then let's go on a quick 3-minute break. I gotta get a cup of water and take some antacids if that's okay.
Sure. You're full of acid right now. Your pH is off.
A little pH balance.
I'm
unbalanced.
a bit burpy. Okay. So you said before we do Willem Dafoe?
Yeah. Before we we'll do the quick break. Come back. Let's read the chat first though.
Yeah.
Python doesn't sound proud of you. Dr. Soundcheck says, no, I'm coming to ask here. Okay, he's going to ask something in the thing. Matty F says, great moves, Ian. Keep it up. I'm proud of you. Aw, thank you. Dr. Soundcheck says, Dr. Soundcheck's talking about some commissions. Tums Festival, says Zach, which is another reference to Red Letter Media. I am going to go engage in a Tums Festival. Keep typing so they can't stop the stream. Now they're just spamming. Now they're just trying to mess with us.
Man.
Boy, oh boy. But you know, I think you made a great... Sorry, go ahead.
Come.
Oh, okay, good.
Do not come.
Don't... Oh. What if I'm already halfway there? What? Okay, then we're good. Okay.
Well, we're on break. Drop some prompts of what you want to see Willem Dafoe doing in the next drawing.
Yeah, let us know. In the meantime, let's hope that I mapped this button correctly.
We'll see.
Oh, good
We're
stuff.
back.
Good. Hey, welcome back, everybody. We're here again. This is a drawing we did. I think that drawing came out pretty nicely.
Came out
What do
pretty
you-
good.
Yeah.
It doesn't really look like him.
No, I don't think it. It's a little cartoony.
Mm-hmm. He is, isn't he?
A little bit of a cartoon, isn't he?
All right. So, what? We having frames issues?
Yeah, just for a moment. It's back now. I don't know. It's gonna happen occasionally, I guess. The good news is we're back. We have a lot of Willem Dafoe's to draw.
It's true.
So
What do we got first? We got Willem Dafoe's A Sesame Street Muppet. Now that's a good one.
that I'll be happy to draw.
I like that one. I'm not sure I'd do it because a lot of his things that define Willem Dafoe are things that Muppets don't really have very often.
Like teeth.
Well, I mean, there's a guy called Dr. Teeth, but yes, that is true for most of them.
I'll see what I can do. I remember back in like the original Muppet Show, which I have a lot of the episodes of that downloaded. They would have a celebrity guest on every episode, and then at the end of the episode, they would present the celebrity guest with a Muppet caricature, like a Muppet of themselves. So like there was an episode with Sylvester Stallone, and they have like a Sylvester Stallone Muppet that they give him.
They're probably like, this is too time consuming. We can't do this every episode.
Yeah. I'm not sure how long they did it. They did it for a while. Just for the old show, though. They stopped doing it when, like, you know, it was the newer shows. Actually, like, you know, they did a new Muppets like, I'm a big fan of the Muppets. I think you are at least a fan of the Muppets.
I like Muppets.
I know that they did, so, I know they did the original Muppet Show. And then they did a slightly newer, like, 80s, I want to say, Muppet Show. And then that's like when the movies were coming out, things like that. And then maybe it was the 80s, maybe it was the 70s, I don't exactly remember. But then I remember when I was a kid growing up, they had another reincarnation of the Muppet Show.
Muppet Babies.
That too, yes. But I remember there was like a Muppet Show where John Goodman was on it. And like Pamela Anderson, or I think Carmen Electra was on it, and they made a boob joke with her. Like there was the bear was like, "Oh, we got these balloons." And Carmen Electra's like, "Oh, it's my boobs," or something. But I remember that.
Muppets is doing the kind of comedy that I've been asking for all these years.
Yeah, finally, let's get some raunchy Muppets.
The Muppets have been playing it too safe, you know.
Yeah, time for them to finally break out of their shell and say fuck. But
I just want to hear Kermit say fuck. That's all I want.
oh jeez, oh, it's a big fucking deal. But yeah, so like they had a Muppets version with John Goodman, and then they just came out with like a new Muppets like 2 years ago, something like that, that apparently people did not like because I don't think they've made any new episodes. Did you ever watch any of that? I could probably watch it now that I have Disney Plus too, but
I have not watched any of the new Muppets. I don't know.
Curious.
I don't really know about it.
I don't know too much about it. I think like in it they're like making the Muppet Show for streaming, which is like because they actually are for Disney Plus. I do remember I watched the newest Muppet special that came out for Halloween. It was like Gonzo Goes to a Haunted House or something like that. It was fine. They're doing like a new like obviously they had to get a new voice for Kermit, and they're doing like a new thing for Kermit apparently, like a new voice, I guess. From what I
sucks.
The new voice, I'm not a fan of it. I mean, it's just not the one I grew up with. My parents didn't even notice. Like, they were like, "Oh, I never even noticed." But I talked to somebody, I forget who, but like the person who apparently knew something about the Kermit voice was like, when they got the new Kermit voice actor, they said, "Oh, we're going back to the original Kermit voice instead of the one that everyone remembers." But like,
that it's like the original either.
Yeah, I don't think it's like that Kermit.
Not to be a Kermit purist, but I'm just saying.
a Kermit purist. There's a pun in there somewhere. But yeah, the voice doesn't hit it for me. Maybe it's something I just need to get used to because I'm used to Kermit's voice. But I remember Emmett Otter's Jug Band. That shit was from like 1966 or whatever, and Kermit still sounds like the Kermit that I recognize. So I'm not sure what voice. I feel like they just got a guy who doesn't do a good Kermit voice like so many people can do. and they just said, fuck it, we'll come up with the next
It's the
excuse.
easiest voice to do.
You can do a Kermit, I can do a Kermit, like, it's easy.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm good enough to like be the
No.
new Kermit, but I can do a better one than the current one that they've chosen.
Yeah, I'm confused by it. I don't understand the decision. Yeah, I don't know, because I was talking with, I think, the same people about that Kermit voice. I was talking with them yesterday. I was playing Minecraft with them. If these are the same people who were talking about the Kermit voice, I can't confirm. It was a long time ago. But there's the new Hotel Transylvania movie that just came out on Amazon. It's like the 4th one in the series or something like that. Have you ever watched any of the Hotel Transylvania movies?
I haven't, but I've heard decent things.
I like them. I think they're fun. I'm not sure about the first one. I've watched 2 and 3, but I like 2 and 3 because whatever, they're like goofy kids animated movies, like 3D animation, whatever. But they do fun things with the 3D animation. Like they hired, I think Genndy Tartakovsky helped make the character designs, at least for the first one, or he worked as animation. I think Genndy Tartakovsky was involved in some capacity, and that dude is quality. He just makes good shit. So anything he's never made a bad thing as far as I can tell. He so in at least Hotel Transylvania 2 and on, I know they like do something with the 3D animation where they actually like custom modeled the characters so that they would bend in like cartoony ways so that the animation would animate more like a classic like Looney Tunes cartoon, if that makes sense what I'm describing.
So they break their like mold. Like
exactly.
That a lot of animation doesn't do anymore because it's expensive.
Exactly, yeah. So like for a 3D animation especially, that's kind of cool because like they're taking these classic things we're used to from 2D animation and now they're starting to bring them over into this new format. And the result is good in my opinion. There's a lot of really fun animation that happens in that movie. The story is whatever. It's a kids movie. I don't give a shit. It's fun to watch. Like, if you need to kill an afternoon.
Movies?
Yeah. So apparently the new Hotel Transylvania is out on Amazon Prime. I plan on watching it because why not? But apparently Adam Sandler is not involved at all.
Huh.
Which
that's like a selling point now.
Yeah, well, for me, it's not necessarily a selling point. It's just interesting, because he was Dracula. He's the main character of the first 3 movies, and he was the executive producer. Like, he was heavily involved in all of it. And apparently, for this 4th movie, he's just not involved at all. People think it might be because of like the Netflix deal, but he was making Netflix movies when the Hotel Transylvania movies were already coming out. And so like what they did was they got a YouTube voice impersonator apparently for Dracula in the new movie to replace Adam Sandler, and apparently he does a great job. Like the guy who told me about it said he didn't even notice. And I think that's really smart because then you don't have to pay Adam Sandler like $8 million or something like that, or like
Adam
80.
Sandler doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, he doesn't give a fuck, man. And so go ahead.
Makes money for farting, literally.
Yeah.
And, yeah, he doesn't give a shit.
He doesn't give a fuck. So, and like, he was probably the most expensive part of the whole movie aside from all the 3D animation. Yeah, Dr. Soundcheck says, yeah, they got the TikTok guy who does the voices. I don't, there must be a specific guy, but apparently, yeah, they just hired a person who can do a good impersonation of him to replace him. Which is just interesting to me. I don't know if there's like some behind the scenes drama or what, but that's just interesting that now we're at a point where a YouTuber has replaced, or a TikTok person has replaced Adam Sandler in a movie.
You'd never think doing an Adam Sandler impression on YouTube or TikTok would end up getting you a job actually impersonating Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like a likely thing, but here we are.
I'm curious, Brian Hall, do you think he's the guy who does the Sleep Me Away Shandman TikTok? Do you think that's the guy?
I don't know.
Hey there, buddy.
Somebody
awesome. Look at... Yeah,
So like
sorry.
basic. You like get hired from those.
Yeah. Those are just like goofy jokes, but imagine if you got work on the next Hotel Transylvania for it.
It's amazing.
Brian Hall.
Something going viral can get you work.
Yeah. And like nowadays it's legit work. Like remember back in the like when the internet was still kind of new and like people were like, oh, viral is a thing, and like you had the golden voiced hobo who like he had a great announcer voice and he did like one mac and cheese commercial and then we never heard from him ever again. This seems
so that Kraft could say they helped and then
yeah.
Like, alright, fuck off.
Yeah.
Get away from us.
Ew, gross. I wonder whatever happened to that guy. That was like a big thing for a while. Oh well. I'll look him up afterwards. I'm gonna look up Brian Hall in the meantime. I'm just curious. Just trying to see if maybe he's... No, it looks like he does a bunch of songs. It looks like song impression, song covers. I don't know if I'll be able to find out if it's like the Adam Sandler video guy. I don't think it is though. This guy's content seems a different vibe. This dude is very Hollywood friendly, his YouTube page.
Well, regardless, interesting. We got work out of that.
Yeah, good for him. Alright, one of the videos I just saw was, do impressions get me dates? And I can answer that question the opposite.
Yeah, I've tried many times to I break the ice with an impression and it just never works.
It never works. How do you like my Willem Dafoe Muppet?
I like it. Is mine too detailed? Is this a reasonable Muppet?
This is gonna sound weird, but your Willem Dafoe Muppet reminds me more of Michael Fassbender, and I think it's the turtleneck. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I'm just gonna add a row of bottom teeth. Boy oh boy. Boy oh boy oh boy. These teeth look kind of monstrous because they like have weird. I made like weird mountainous peaks in his teeth.
He has monstrous teeth. Monstrous teeth.
He does,
Mountains.
but like his teeth are still naturally shaped. They're just a little unkempt.
His fangs. He has fangs.
He has pronounced canines.
Z-Newts drew it. I love it. He did a Willem Dafoe Muppet, which is a reminder to all of you watching. Draw along, and we'll show it on the stream. Ian will bring it up here in a moment.
Yep, I'm getting it pulled up right now. But yeah, if you ever want to if you ever want your artwork featured on the stream, post in the DrawBomb along. I don't get notifications when we get posts in the Discord because I'm in streamer
so
mode.
let us know. Granted, if this became a common thing, people did it more often, we'd just check. But
yeah, it'd be more.
Until we get to that point, let us know that you drew something.
Until then, we'll just assume that nobody cares.
I like that. I like the neck / chin. It's good.
It's very Muppets, that like fold in the neck where the fabric gets like bunched up. It's very smart. It's a good detail.
Killed it.
Killed it. Excellent job. That was Z-Newts drawing, everybody. Z-Newts in the chat. Friend of the show, guest of the show. Shiny Doggy says streamer mode. I know, I'm so fancy. Can't have my Discord noises be popping up.
Welcome to the stream, Shiny Doggy. We've missed you.
Yeah, we missed you. Happy to have you back in the chat. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're drawing Willem Dafoe as a Muppet. Because that was a request we got. I love it. I like drawing Willem Dafoe. I don't know why.
Yeah. It's enjoyable. He has a cartoon face, so
he does.
Fits our sensibilities well.
It's good practice, in my opinion. I'm gonna look up another picture of Willem Dafoe so I can, because right now I'm doing Draw Willem Dafoe from memory, which is not a game we play in DrawBomb.
I've been looking for references. Yeah, no, he's no Scyther. Come on.
Yeah, we do a game every month called Draw Scyther from memory. But we did that last week, so it's 3 more weeks out.
So we're free for a little while.
We're free. Do you remember what Scyther looks like?
I think I could do a decent one.
Okay, I think I could too, actually. I think I could draw a good Scyther right now. Shiny Doggy says, I've been so busy, I feel like people think I died. Lol, sorry I haven't hopped on. It's okay, if you're busy, I totally understand what it's like to be busy.
You don't have to feel bad, but we are glad you didn't die. That's
I
news.
haven't talked to Austin in like 3 weeks.
Yeah, he randomly responded to something I wrote him a while back, just like the other day, and I'm like, okay.
He's alive.
Back. I'm trying to hire him to do a VR chat DrawBomb guy that I can run around it.
Oh yeah, speaking of which, you had an experience in the metaverse that you told me about, and I think it's pretty funny.
I don't... Should I say it out loud? I mean...
Yeah, fuck it. Fuck the metaverse. Expose it!
No, I know. I'm not trying to... the language is... Whatever, yeah, it was funny. Okay, so I hopped onto Facebook's metaverse, made my avatar, went through the... there's a tutorial that shows you how to press the buttons, do all the things. I stepped foot into the metaverse, and all of a sudden, the first guy I see, he sees me from the distance, he like waves, comes running up in his little stupid avatar, and then he just goes, "Nice beard, you fat cunt." And that was my first experience in the metaverse. So it's Facebook, it's just a different medium to experience it through.
I think if I were to jump into the metaverse, I would that's how I'd like to be greeted in the metaverse.
I wasn't mad about it. I think I laughed for a long time and then turned it off. I think that's basically how it went down.
I bet that dude.
What I wanted out of it. I wasn't going to actually play around in it.
That dude probably logged off and he was just like, I just brightened that guy's day. Ha 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 ha. What a story he can tell people.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe. I have a suspicion that he wasn't trying to entertain me, but...
No, probably not. He was probably being a dickhead.
It's funny.
Alright, we got two...
Den says, sounds similar to my story of the first time in VR chat. Yeah, I imagine it's a similar experience there.
The games are a cesspool. I will say that. If you have a game and you give people free reign to just talk in a video game, you're just gonna find the dregs of humanity. It's like when we played Comedy Night, and it was just like,
oh god, it was just
slurs the whole night through, and we were trying very hard to avoid we were trying very hard to find a room where people weren't saying slurs, and no, you can't. You literally can't. It's 10 years after.
Turns out people go full Michael Richards when they're bombing, similar to how he did.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. He was like, oh shit, people are laughing. What can I do that really kick this room up?
I know how I'll win them back.
Yeah.
I'll get myself fucking canceled.
Was he that episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm where they do the Seinfeld reunion? Is that post that? Because they mention it, right? Don't they mention it in the show? Okay.
Yeah. He plays like a creepy incel in that too, so
that's true. Yeah, he's
when he's playing himself.
He's got a disease, he says, right? Like that Leon gives him a hat for, and I forget. It's like anxiety, essentially, or he's got
Yeah, he plays himself like he's nuts.
Yeah.
But no, it's a good episode. It's probably the closest you'll get to an actual Seinfeld reunion, and that's the best way to do it, honestly.
Yeah, call out the fact. That's the thing is there's so many. Anytime that there's been something that's been a throwback, or it's just kind of Hollywood digging up bones, trying to find new content to push out into theaters. Anytime you're calling out the fact that that's what you're doing is, in my opinion, the only way to go, because otherwise it's just transparent and it sucks. But the 21 Jump Street movie I really like, because the entire point of 21 and 22 Jump Street, the movies, is that they're rehashing an old ridiculous idea, and then the sequel is just about sequels. The first movie is isn't it ridiculous that we're bringing back 21 Jump Street? This is stupid. How would it play out nowadays? And it doesn't. And then the sequel is Ice Cube literally says in the sequel, he says, it's the same job, just do the same thing you did last time. And that's the movie. It's the same shit. It's all meta, and I love it.
Shiny Doggy says, what about Seinfeld Vision? How dare you?
Is that the Dreams episode where they made the horror game out of Seinfeld?
That was amazing. I don't know if... unfortunately, Dreams is kind of its own bubble, so I don't think a lot of people know about that. But I'm not sure what Seinfeld Vision is.
I am Googling it. Seinfeld Vision. Ooh.
30 Rock is what Shiny Dog says.
Oh. First episode of second season. Oh, right! Yes! I remember, because they bring back Jerry. That's when they're advertising B-movie, because there's a moment where he literally turns to the camera and, like, says B-movie, and, like, the little Barry the Bee, like, flies up and goes, ha-ha! I remember that. That's a great show. I started watching that Mr. Mayor show again, which is made by two of the writers, I believe, from 30 Rock. They had a Christmas episode out, which is really funny. That's it. The new season starts in like a month. I'm pretty excited about it.
Some other Willem Dafoes we got if we're doing more.
Yeah, let's please.
Willem Dafoe dunking on Tobey Maguire is an option. We can start alternating instead of doing the same ones.
Sure, which one do you want to do?
As a different comic cartoon villain. Or Willem Dafoe making an army of snowmen overlords.
Which one intrigues you the most?
I could do any of those. You know, it'd be cool to see Willem Dafoe as the Green Goblin.
Whoa, dude!
Yeah.
Perfect casting.
That just came to me
That's
just
brilliant.
now.
Oh my god. Why has that never happened? He's the perfect guy. He looks just like James Franco's dad.
Extra Attack RPG says, me and my girlfriend just watched the whole first season of Yellowjackets in the last 24 hours, and I highly recommend. I don't know what that is.
Yellowjacket. I feel like I've seen pictures of it and previews of it. I want to say it's a show about women doing something illegal.
Huh.
What'd you get?
Oh, I didn't look it up, but let me look it up.
Oh, it sounded like you were looking it up. Sorry. Because you went like, you clicked.
Yellowjackets.
I heard some typing and I heard you go, huh. Like you would.
What is Yellowjackets about? Yellowjackets tells the narrative of a team of wildly talented high school girls, soccer players, who survive a plane crash deep in the Ontario wilderness. The series chronicles their descent into a complicated but thriving team to warring cannibalistic clans while also tracking the lives they have attempted to piece back together. So it's basically
Lord of the Flies.
Forest. It's the Forest. The
Lord of the Forest Flies.
Yeah, exactly. That's not. I don't think that's illegal.
No, that's not. It's not the kind of show I thought it was going to be.
Very illegal.
There's a genre of show kind of going on right now where it's like women in like a normally like in a cutthroat sort of illegal business. Like there's that Good Girls show with Christina Hendricks and Egg from Arrested Development and the one receptionist lady from Parks and Recreation called Good Girl. I already said it. Yeah, Good Girls, where they're like involved in the drug trade.
I've seen the trailers for it.
There's Nails, where it's like I think the point of Nails is that they run a nail salon, but it's also being backed. It's like a front business or some kind. There is like a whole genre right now, and there's like two other shows I've seen with that same vibe, and I get the sense that that's sort of like a big genre right now, because I think Good Girls is actually a very successful show, because it's gone on for like 4 seasons. But I think like that's become a genre, is like, these women leave suburbia and start killing people. Essentially, it's kind of like it's Breaking Bad, but the woman version of it. Almost.
Weeds is a show that
Yes.
That
absolutely
comedy, but that existed a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm being reductive. I might be being reductive though.
Yellowjackets sounds pretty interesting, actually. That concept. I said illegal as a joke, eating each other, but I think the law is like, hey, if you're in a shitty situation, you can eat each other. We won't arrest you for it. You've already been through enough. I think you're allowed to eat each other.
Yeah, I think it's like
once after getting back.
Once you've been in a plane crash, but before authorities arrive to like rescue you, I think it's pretty much international waters. Then, like, you just got to do what you can.
To eat each other.
Although the Donner Party did go to jail, I think, for the cannibalism, like, because the Trey Parker Matt Stone movie Cannibal the Musical. It's based on the Donner Party, and that movie ended with the guy goes to jail for cannibalism.
Sure.
And I have to imagine.
Legal.
What was that?
Maybe it's not legal.
I mean, it's definitely
I'll
not
be the
legal.
first one to bring that up after we crash the plane. I'll be like, guys, you know we're allowed to eat each other, guys. So, just saying. I'm not saying I'm going to. Jeez, I'm just saying we're allowed to.
God, it's an option.
Xenoots drew his own Scyther, and it's fantastic.
Oh boy, I'm gonna post it. Let me just before I post Xenoot's thing, I'm just gonna real quick go through the comments. There's been a few. Me. Oh yeah, I saw the trailer for that. It looked cute. Xenoot says that's the Slender Man show, right? I'll have to check it out, says Dr. Soundcheck. A high school... Oh, this one where he describes the situation. Oh, he says high school soccer team ends up in a Lord of the Flies situation. Yeah, they even mentioned the Donner Party thing in the show. And now we're caught up. Let's post that Scyther. Oh, that's pretty fantastic. You know, honestly though, it's more accurate than the other Scythers that we have drawn in the past.
Oh, 100%. I'm assuming he lifted a reference. If not, great job. But
yeah. Does he say from memory? Let's see. Also drew Scyther from memory and posted it. He says it's from memory.
Holy shit. So
better
he's
not be
way better at drawing Scyther than I.
You better not be fucking lying.
We'll
Swear to
find out
God. I know where you sleep. It's that room. Over there.
Nearby.
Yeah. Oh, this basketball. I thought I was doing a cool effect with this basketball hoop. It just looks like shit.
I'm trying to draw Tobey Maguire.
I like my Willem Dafoe. This is like...
Great. That's a good, like, cartoony one.
Thank you.
You capture his energy well.
It's like almost like when you draw something multiple times, you start to get good at it.
No, I don't think that's true.
We're gonna be so good at drawing Willem Dafoe by the end of this year.
Can't wait. So cheap to recommend that we draw him.
It is actually very... We might need to alter some channel point numbers after a while.
But it's fun for now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what are we gonna do? Talk about Yike, the RPG some more?
I think we could get another 50 minutes of that in.
I could. I have some more I could talk about it. Not really. I mean, I think I pretty much said all I care to say about it, honestly.
What's your final review on it out of 10?
Out of 10.
10 out of 10. There you go, guys.
Perfect game, everybody. Buy it now. If it were still on Game Pass, I'd recommend downloading it. Yike! I have been playing Into the Pit.
Oh yeah.
Which is...
I popped in as I was going to bed last night and saw that you...
Yeah. Basically like a first-person Eldritch horror roguelike game. That's it. I think you get pretty much the entire gist of it from that description, though. I think you can put together the whole game in your head.
I'm okay with the simple concept.
Oh, me too. Yeah, absolutely. I'm just saying, like, you could... Now that I've described it, like, it's exactly what you think it is. Like, when I played the game,
Have you seen,
I was...
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, whatever. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna ask if you had seen the new Spider-Man.
I haven't. It's not on Disney Plus yet, right? Like, I don't go to theaters right now.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think that's like the first theater draw they've made in a while. So trying to milk it, but
I kind of, you know, I'm glad. Oh no, the pandemic's not slowing down at all. But whatever. I guess theaters are open again. It doesn't matter. But I enjoyed that there was a brief window of time where they're like, everything's coming out to streaming first.
Yeah,
at the same time.
That way someday. And it's not that I like want to see theaters die. I like going to the theater for certain movies, but I want to have the choice. Not every movie deserves a theater experience.
Yeah. There's a lot of movies that I won't make a trip to see.
Charge like $20 for it to watch it at home, and I could bring my, like have some friends over, and it would be they'd still make their money. I just don't want to have to go to the theater for every piece of trash that I see.
Yeah, there's a lot of movies where I'm just like, I've been burned before. I'm not gonna go to the theaters for every movie. Like, especially because nowadays movies are all like tentpole shit anyways. It's like, hey, like there's no, like in theaters, like they're not really releasing like niche comedies anymore. They're not releasing like you know,
it's
sort of like
it all goes to TV.
yeah.
It's cheaper to make.
TV's cheaper to make, and plus you can just put it on streaming. Like Netflix will buy, like a lot of companies nowadays, they don't want anything that's not like they can't make $1 billion on it. So that's why there's so many like reboots and remakes, is because they think like, oh, if we just catch that lightning in a bottle of one of our old properties that caught lightning in a bottle.
With those things, it's like they don't even have to be good. It'll put butts in seats enough that they'll make their money back just because of the name recognition.
Exactly. So they're not going to spend money on like a Bridesmaids would never come out in theaters nowadays. I don't think.
Yeah, well, you know, just women aren't funny, so they can't make those movies. Can't pay for those movies.
Yeah, just like leave the comedy to funny people like
Yeah.
like. Oh god, I'm actually at a blank for like Pat and Oz. I don't know. It's a joke. I'm being. Women are hilarious.
I was gonna say, I feel like everybody knows I'm joking too, but I need to make sure.
I want to make it well known. I think there's a lot of fucking hilarious women out there.
Shiny Doggy did a Cipher from Memory too.
Oh, nice!
It's
I
nice.
love that. That's so cute.
It's a good one.
Yeah. Should we? Shiny Doggy said, "I hope I was close. Should I post like the actual Scyther so that they know what it's like? Should we
Sure.
do it?
Yeah. I think it's pretty close. Your head is a little off.
Yeah.
And
So
I
these.
think it has like double wings.
This is Shiny Doggy's on the left. This is Z-Newt's Scyther on the right, and I'm gonna post the real life Scyther.
Definitely have done better than we have.
Yes, you both did a better job than we did. Here's Scyther right in the middle. So you guys can kind of compare. I think you both nailed aspects of it that are frequently overlooked.
Yeah.
I think the overall body shape.
Your head is actually not that far off.
No, it's pretty accurate.
I came at your head, and that's a good head, but that just shows because I don't know how to draw Scyther from memory.
That's why we do this
time
bit.
and time again on the show. Yeah.
That's why we do it.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for doing that. We really appreciate you participating in the drawings. Thank you so much, folks, for giving us something to look at. I'm gonna real quick look at the comments. I mean, guys, I watched the floor with all of you when we played Draw Pile using first gen Pokemon. That's right, he did do that. There's a Draw Pile. What was it? Scribble, where you like basically play Pictionary. Like there was that one time we got all the first gen Pokemon and had to try and draw them from memory, and like people had to guess.
That was so hard.
That was awful, and Zach did way better than us.
Yeah, he knows his Pokemon.
I'm trying to finish the first Fable right now. It says Extra Attack RPG, so I can get to 2, which I've heard is better. I've only ever played Fable 3. I've played 1 and 3, and not all the way through, just like little bits here and there. They seem fun. I would get into Fable. You know, I would probably do a playthrough of Fable if I had the opportunity. Unit says he wants theaters to die. I kind of get it.
Yeah, I don't know. The occasional movie I like to see in a theater, but it's rare.
Yeah, it's theaters use. Yeah, I don't know. The theater experience is very different than it was even like 5 years ago. So I don't know. I mean, especially now with the pandemic, but what you get in theaters is shrinking. Like the selection you're gonna have in theaters nowadays. Shiny Doggy says, "Ugh, I almost gave it Think Thick Feet. I'm so mad. You were so close with that one. That would have been like
Almost had it.
a couple extra points for you there." Extra Attack says, "I went to the theater for Green Knight, and that was an awesome experience. Theater on 40th does $6 Tuesdays. Jesus, I would do that.
I went and
$6
saw
for a
Green
ticket?
Knight in the theater, but I took an edible before it, and then I slept. And it's not the movie's fault. It's just me being old, and it seemed cool the part I saw. I can't handle my shit that much. I'd be the first to say it. So, you know, that's my shame. I'm sharing it with all of you.
For shame." Shiny Doggy says, "It had a lot of star power. If it had enough people, it had a lot of star power." I think she's talking about Bridesmaids. If it had enough people, it would. You're not welcome, they say also about the Scyther. They sent an invoice. So we'll get that paid to you.
Alright, yeah, we'll get that.
Yeah.
How much time? Can we do a payment plan?
Yeah, like... I got like $3 I can give a month right now.
If you see that sub button, slap that sub button so that we can pay Shiny Doggy's bill.
Yeah.
You know, it's relatively cheap, or you can use your little free Prime one if you feel so inclined.
Regardless,
we appreciate you being here.
Yeah, thank you everybody for joining in today. It's so nice of you to be here with us.
Oh, you stink!
So the sounds are working again, it seems like, which is great.
I would believe so, yeah. And you hear him too, which is good.
Yeah.
It looks like we're losing frames again. But we're back. I don't know. This shit.
Oh, alright, whatever.
We've lost less than a percentage of frames, so I think we're fine.
That's one thing we haven't fixed is the Punch Ian thing, so,
yeah. I got. And, oh wait, no wait. Son of a, I think I can reward those points back to you. No, I can't. Sorry, you lost those points, my dude.
That's alright.
I can't give them back.
Well, you shouldn't make bad purchases. That's what you should learn from this Dr. Soundcheck.
That's right.
You know, why would you trust us to deliver on a product?
Yeah.
You don't make that mistake again. All right, I'm gonna save this. I don't think we have to color this one.
No, this is just a fun drawing. Yeah, we'll get them back. It's just that now that I'm hosting the streams, we're slowly finding out a little bit each episode, like, oh, we're missing pieces here and there, because when you do 90 episodes,
it's going to be a better product than it was before.
I hope so. I hope that is the case. But we're working on it. It's like when I did the close-ups of us and I found out, oh, the one button doesn't work right and the other, they don't have any sound. We're just slowly realizing, like, oh, whoops.
Says, why are you hosting now? I was fired from my role as host.
You were not fired. I got a stream deck, and I know OBS just a little bit better because I can do kind of like fancier things with it. So I was just like, why don't I just host it? And
we operate on a 10 strikes and you're out thing, and after I muted Ian for the 10th time, I was fired from my position. Which I'm all for, because now all I gotta do is show up and look pretty. I don't have to do anything.
Yeah, this is my chance to give him a break. Brandon hosts the draw piles. I'm hosting the draw pile this time too, but that's a whole different reason. But
we alternate every 90 episodes, so
yeah, just switch it up, just to really keep us fresh. You know, if we get too used to things, like, we can start to get lazy. So that's why we're doing this.
We have about 15 minutes left. Should we do one more Defoe, or what should we do?
We can do a Defoe. We can do a rock paper pencil.
That's true.
I don't know. What do people think? Should we do another Defoe? Should we do a rock paper pencil? What are people feeling? I'll draw a Defoe over here in the meantime.
One of the recommendations is Willem Dafoe finishing season 2 of Dragnet. So specific.
Very specific.
I don't know what takes place in season 2. I know the theme song.
We just haven't finished it yet. We're still working on it.
What are we still?
We're still working on Dragnet's season 2.
Yeah. Willem Dafoe and Scyther Homunculus.
So, shrunken heads of Willem Dafoe and Scyther? Or wait.
Is that what Homunculus is?
Yeah, Homunculus is a shrunken head.
Oh,
do you meant like Chimera?
Some kind of like abomination.
Like a chimera,
Mishmash.
like a mixture of the two?
I want Willem Dafoe anamorphing into Scyther.
Yeah, he wants a chimera. Oh, Willem Dafoe anamorphing into Scyther. That I think we can definitely do.
That's upsetting. This is just a Willem Dafoe themed show now.
It kind of is, yeah. We're not DrawBomb anymore, we're Dafoe Bomb.
Should be alright.
We should have like a secondary logo.
Yeah. You know, we could do that for like an episode, except we just did that for an episode, so I don't know what would be different.
True.
Special.
Every episode we're just drawing Willem Dafoe in different scenarios. Alright, there's my Willem Dafoe. I wonder if Willem Dafoe were to ever find out that we draw him so many times, like how he would feel.
Maybe he'd come be on the show.
That'd be amazing. That would be a good get.
That'd be the best get. Can't
Yeah.
really beat that.
I don't think we could ever top
I know
it.
he's on Twitch often, I'm sure.
Yeah, I need to update that Nightbot because that's not my portfolio site anymore. I changed it. The Superfly art name is fun and you know it fits my music stuff, but also like if you're trying to hire me, like do you even know who that is? So I changed it. It's my name now. It's my website.
Probably a little more accessible.
Much more accessible, I would say. Because also Superfly, it's kind of it almost feels appropriate-y because Superfly is like a classic blaxploitation character, and then I'm just a white guy going like, ah, Superfly. Like I don't know. I'm still gonna use Superfly Arturo as my musician name because I don't think it's too. Yeah, I don't think I'm being particularly appropriative, but like it's not my place to say. But it's something I try to keep in mind whenever I'm doing something.
It's one of those things like that. In my opinion, and I think it's changed a little bit. It's no longer mean that character, and it means more like cool.
Yeah,
you know, it's like how Django is a name, and then it turned into like meaning cool later on in culture.
Well, I think Superfly was slang for being really cool, and then they made the character Superfly because he was like a really cool character.
Oh,
I think,
so it wasn't that one.
Yeah, I think it was the slang, and then it was the blaxploitation film. Oh. We've permitted the term honky to be in the chat now. Apparently, that was an offensive word. Is the word Twitch thinks that honky is a bad word.
I mean, was it that one big Twitch streamer, Hassan, whatever, just got banned for saying cracker?
Hasanabi? Really?
Yeah.
He got banned for saying cracker?
For saying cracker, so there
Jesus.
you go. Very protective of us.
Twitch. Hey, look. Hate bots that raid people of color and then cause their channels to get taken down because the bots are saying awful things in the chat. You know, Twitch will take a couple of weeks to get that sorted out. But God forbid you say honky or cracker.
You can't draw people shitting, and you can't say cracker. Like, where are all our rights going?
Can't draw buttholes pooping. Can't enrage the whites.
D-Newt says you crackers need to take a fucking joke.
Right? Jesus. Wow. Honky is a word that Twitch will ban.
Let's see if we get banned.
Yeah. We've said cracker and honky at least 5 times in the past minute. So. Oh no! I'm in the Twitch void!
So the in-between Defoe is going to be the hard one, obviously.
Yeah. Now, was that a Scyther from memory?
No. I will not say that because that's the end goal. If I can draw that, it's like they're from memory.
Okay,
That's straight up a Scyther.
That's where you want to end up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put his name on his shirt like a classic political cartoonist. Because otherwise, how would you know it's Willem Dafoe or the budget? You know. How to like morph his face into Scyther.
Difficult thing to accomplish. Oh, are you doing a more one?
Yeah, I'm drawing the next stage in the whole process. Oh, I was gonna like mine was gonna be like sort of in between yours and. Although I guess you know what I should be doing is I should be putting like a low opacity over this, shouldn't I? Because
I don't know. You can do yours here. I'll do mine here.
Okay. This is one of those pictures that doesn't make any sense without context.
Yeah.
Like, if you were to
Yeah,
like,
we have a lot of those.
yeah, like if we were to post this just by itself, no explanation on Twitter, people would be like, "Why is Willem Dafoe turning into Scyther from Pokemon?"